think she's going to do well there. We have our fingers crossed there. So, Representative Doyle.
Thank you. I have just a couple of quick things that I want to mention. I want to follow up on a couple of themes that Jen mentioned. You know, November of 2010 was really the down part for us in the cycle. But since November of 2010 in western Wisconsin, we have not lost an election yet. We have won. We won my election May 3rd of last year. We won Jen's election and we won Jill's election. And I think we're on a roll, and I think that that's going to continue on to the rest of this year. For me, not a whole lot is changing over the since nomination papers came out, because I started knocking on doors in January. I've got a good chunk of my district already done. I've knocked on doors through almost all of Bangor and several other communities that I've done kind of bits and pieces of. And I'm going to continue that right up until Election Day. I have an opponent at this point, Bruce Evers, who ran in the primary against Ron Kine for Congress in 2010. Mr. Evers got a whopping 23% in the primary, and I'm hoping that that's what he's going to get in November. On the one hand, I'm really pleased to have an opponent like that. You know, some people would consider him a second-tier candidate. Doesn't have a lot of name recognition, didn't particularly have an effective campaign last time. On the other hand, I talked to Jen's opponent, Bill Feehan, who is the former Republican Party chair here in La Crosse, and he said, yes, this is our guy. And what that says is that's where the money is going to go. In my election a year ago, you'll recall that on my side, my campaigns and the third parties on my behalf, unions and others, spent about $200,000 in that race. The Republicans and the third party interests on their side spent about $300,000 in that race. $500,000 for a position that pays $50,000 a year, which I think is incredible. So they know how to turn out the money, and almost every dollar of that $300,000 was an attack ad against me. And you'll remember, Steve doesn't pay his property tax on time, he's raised your taxes. I don't know if I kicked dogs or something too along the way. But I expect that that's what's going to happen again this time, is that it is going to be, the slice and dice and try to shred me as much as possible, which is why I have basically committed myself that this is my life until November. I will do campaigning nonstop. I did it last year, I'm going to do that again this year. And I really feel good about my chances. I think that I've had an opportunity to make a difference in Madison. I worked with a Republican member of the Assembly to pass a bill that the governor signed a while back. And I've tried to set an example like we have in La Crosse County, where you may disagree with each other, but you don't have to be disagreeable, and you can actually cooperate with people and show respect. There is a total lack of respect in Madison, especially on the part of the Republicans. They just don't have any respect for us. They don't want us to be at all playing in their sandbox, and that really needs to change. And I think that for as bad as 2010 was, I think 2012 is going to be a good year for it, because I think people are fed up with it. The sad thing for me in November is that my secret weapon is going to be gone, because I'm not going to have Scott Walker anymore. I'm going to have to win on my own, because he was my secret weapon last year. I had more people tell me that thanks to Scott Walker, they were for the first time in their life going to vote for a Democrat, and so I'm hoping that they hold that thought and that continues to this November. So I have an opponent. I'm working hard. I want to talk a little bit, since Jill wasn't able to be here tonight, let me talk about her race. She, as you know, got 73% in her election last fall, which apparently has scared off all of the Republicans, because as of this point, she does not have an opponent. She is working very hard. Jen is correct. Jill has not had time to find the restroom in the Capitol because she was too busy getting a bill passed. Of the, what would you say, Jen, how many bills passed this last session? A couple hundred or more? Probably 6 of them were Democratic bills, and one of those was Jill Billings. And I think that that says a lot about the kind of candidate she was and the kind of legislator that she is in Madison at this point. So I think we have a lot to be proud of with our delegation. We work together very closely. We're constantly calling or texting each other, sometimes in the middle of the night it seems like. And Jen is absolutely right. We tell each other events going on, strategic issues and so forth. That is what it should all be about, working together. We've done a really good job, and I'm proud to be part of the team from Western Wisconsin. I have two things that I want to mention in terms of assistance that I could use from you. I did mail out my nomination papers to party members in my district. If you can get signatures for me, I'm happy to get my own signatures, but my time is better spent knocking on doors and getting to as many doors as possible. So if you can help me with the signatures, then I don't have to spend extra time at each door when I could get to more and more voters. I mean, there's 7,500 that I want to hit by the middle of August, and that's a lot of doors to get to, and so your assistance in those nomination papers would be very much appreciated. Get them back to me as soon as you can so that I don't have to panic that I'm running out of time and won't get the signatures. The last thing is I have a fundraiser also, since that seems to be the theme these days, is let's everybody have a fundraiser. I know people are getting a little burned out from fundraisers, but I'm not going to spend $200,000 this time, but I do need to raise some money to run an effective race. My first fundraiser is a week from tomorrow, Tuesday the 24th at Seven Bridges Restaurant up in Alaska. Appreciate if people can get there and help me get things kicked off as effectively as I possibly can. So thank you for your support, and as Jen said, onward and forward.